What's up, everyone? Thought I'd make a video and basically just vent, if I'm honest with you. I I don't even know why I'm doing this, actually. I think it's more of a well, actually, I do know why I'm doing this. I'm struggling really bad with my mental health. I have done all my life. I made videos ages ago about my mental health and how it's been a struggle. The problem with YouTube and people talking about mental health is people always make videos after they've got better, and they talk about how they were struggling, how they got through it, and blah, blah, blah. No one ever makes videos in the moment when they're actually struggling. Um, and there's a lot of people out there like me, probably watching this right now, who are also really struggling, really difficultly. Difficultly. I don't know. My brain's not working. And it's hard for me because this platform is a place where I should be like, you're not alone. We'll get through this, blah, blah, blah. But when you're deep in the depression like I am right now, it's hard to not feel alone and not think that there's no one out there that wants to help. My depression has been on and off all my life. It started when I was in the Marines, when I got bullied, and I didn't know who was my friend or not. And so I had this and I was a teenager. I was drinking. I was in a really bad mental space. And the people who I was closest to didn't help me out when I was getting bullied. They kind of went against me because they also didn't want to. I made videos about it. But my mental health coming out of the Marines was horrendous. I was in such a bad state. And then I felt betrayed by the Marines because they turned around to me and said to me, "Face, you don't have depression." I don't know why. Maybe they didn't want to help or didn't want to pay out for it. I don't know why they said that. And they, you know, and I left the Marines without anyone helping in any way, shape, or form. Even though looking back, my God, I was in a bad place. I was in a very, very bad place back then. And the Marines just palmed me off. And it took me years to process that. Years and years and years. And going off to America and doing magic mushrooms and really working on myself. But the truth is, when you have something bad like that happen to you and so traumatic, the scars are always there. Yeah, the scars will fade slowly over time because time heals, but they're always there and they do come back. And then it kind of all came back when this YouTube channel blew up, because back in 2020 when the channel blew up, it was making military content again. So it brought me back into that military zone. And I felt like an imposter because I didn't have a successful career in the Marines and I got bullied and stuff like that. And so I felt like an imposter, and that hurt. And then also, because the channel took off out of nowhere and it did really well, there were people who messaged me who were old friends. There were the people that, I knew growing up. And I was like, my God, I haven't spoke to you in years. And then we'd speak for a minute, and then all of a sudden you realize that they want something. They want you to share something. They want you to promote something. They want to get involved. And then all that baggage of not knowing who's your real friend that I had in the Marines all came back again. And that really hurt. And it took a long time to get over that. But the thing is, this battle with mental health and depression is not a linear thing. The past 3 weeks, I've just been in such a bad place, and there's there's so many things, I can't be like, it's this that made me depressed recently. Do you get what I mean? When people are like, "What's up? What's going on?" It's hard to explain that. It's like there's so many factors, there's so many things. Right? Is it burnout? Is it never feeling like I'm a good enough dad? Like, I'm trying my hardest to be a good dad. All I want is the kids to have the best possible life. And I know, because I've been told by other people that, that I'm a good dad. But it's hard to know. I read so many books about being a parent, I get them outside all the time. I put them in forest school. I've taken rock climb, like they were in rock climbing for a bit. They do swimming. They do all these different activities, but you just never feels like you're doing enough. And I think Christmas coming up, like you never feel like you're doing enough for the kids. It never feels like I'm good enough. And I think that stems from all the other trauma that I've got. And then Steph and I have a different relationship than what we used to, which I'm not going to get into. But that's difficult as well. Moving to the UK, having a massive move, changing such a massive lifestyle, going from living in a bus and traveling America to living in England, in the north of England again. That's difficult as well. That's really difficult. And I've got so many friends around me, but it's so hard. It's so difficult to open up. It's so difficult to just be me. And it's hard to find joy in things. I am an avid reader. I love reading so much. I love reading Brandon Sanderson's books. I love reading Lord of the Rings every year. I love the Sun Eater series and all these incredible books. I love reading about nature. I love reading about the outdoors and all this other stuff. And it brings me so much joy. It really does. But you know you're getting in a slumber when the things that bring you so much joy, you just don't have any motivation for anymore. The one thing going for me right now that's keeping me going is I know I've been in a worse state. My depression's bad right now, and it's like I want to lock myself up and not talk to anyone. But because I've been through it before, I'm aware that it's, even though every atom in my body does not want to talk to anyone, does not want to, like, I know that that's not healthy. I know going to the gym, I'm so lucky. There's a gym right next to my house, and I could go there and I could work out. The problem is it's a small gym, and I ended up just working out on my own all the time. And I was going to a CrossFit gym, but because this gym's right at my house, I was just working out on my own. And I realized that's not good. Like, I need to go to one of these CrossFit gyms that has community, that has people around that cheers you on and you feel good after it. And so I've rejoined that. I'm actively trying. So if you're watching this and you're worrying about me, I am trying. Even though it's difficult. I just know, like, I get messages. There's people watching this video who feel how I feel right now. And it's horrible. And it's so horrible. And there's people who can't get through it, and they do horrible stuff to themselves. And I want you to watch this and see someone who actually going through it and actually feeling the same feelings you're feeling. I want people to also be aware that I'm not going to do anything. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to my family, my friends, and I certainly wouldn't do that to my kids. So if you're worried about stuff like that, please don't be. I've got the support around me. My favorite author, Brandon Sanderson. Actually, I'm going to pull it up on my screen. He did a thing recently on his website or his platform. If you're in the fantasy world, I can't even find it. He does like he writes books every year, like every single year. And let me see if I can find it. It's hard for me to talk without tearing up, because it's hard, right? There's a character in his books called Kaladin, and he's a soldier, and he leaves the military, and he's got really bad mental health. God, he writes. How does Sanderson do it? Like, he's never been in the military, and yet he writes these characters like this guy who, like, it resonates so much, and it's so weird how someone who hasn't been through that can get it. Anyway, this character, he struggles with his mental health, and his kind of progression is fighting it. And what's really cool is Brandon Sanderson did this thing where he made a coin. He made a coin, and it's called the Next Step coin. And firstly, it's got like a number to call if you're struggling and stuff like that. Let me pull it up. And it has like a letter that talks about the struggle that people go through. And it just means a lot. I can't do it. I'll just break down. I can't do it. But it means a lot that people are out there really trying, because unfortunately there's a lot of people and a lot of organizations that say they want to help, but then when it actually comes to helping, they don't bother. There's a lot of people that say you should open up, and then as soon as you open up, they don't want to hear it. That's just the way the world is. Unfortunately, the Marines was like that for me. They every time I see people in the military here in the UK say we need to take mental health seriously, it boils my blood, because I was one of them in the Marines, and this wasn't even that long ago. This was in 2012, right? I guess that is pretty long ago. 10 years plus 10 years 10 years plus, sorry. But seeing people say talk about it, and then when you talk about it, they fucking shut you down. It makes my blood boil so fucking much, because I've had friends in the Marines who they've taken their own life because of depression, and it hurts. And so I'm doing this video just because, like, look, I'm in the fucking trenches right now. I'm in the trenches. And I don't want to put a video out in a month's time, 2 months' time, being like, hey, I was in a bad place, but now I'm good. You can get through it. Because that is not helping people who are actually in it either. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe seeing people get through it is good. But maybe seeing people in it in real time and being like, look, we're all going through this, and this isn't something that you just fix. It takes time. You know, that, like, this is the reality of it. And don't worry, I'm seeing therapy. I'm going to a therapist and all this other stuff. So I'm working on it. And to be honest, you know, I do know that I will get better, right? On that coin that Brandon Sanderson said in one of his amazing quotes, it says, you will be warm again. And I will. But if I'm a bit sporadic here on YouTube, then you know why. If I'm not as upbeat as I usually am, then you know why. If you're a friend and you're reaching out and I'm just quiet and I'm hardly responding, you know why. Right? But I'm hoping you see me in this place, and I'm hoping that maybe if I'm, you know, keep making videos throughout the Christmas time and through the new year, you'll slowly start seeing me pick up, and maybe just starting this dialogue, and just being like, hey, if you're struggling as well, let me know in the comments. And it's not even a case of I'll respond. It's nothing like that. It's just tell me in the comments, because writing it down and saying it to a camera like I'm doing right now makes you feel better. I know I'm going to finish this video and I'm going to feel a little bit better. I don't know how long that'll linger, that feeling, whether it'll just be 5 minutes, whether it'll be the rest of the day, whether it'll put me on a trajectory to start feeling better. I don't know. But it does for a moment make you feel better. I'm going to put a link to this Next Step coin that Brandon Sanderson did in the comments or in the description. Shout out to him and his team for doing this, because and you can get this coin for free, by the way. If you're struggling, you can get it for free, which is incredible. And you just put it in your pocket. You keep that coin in your pocket as a reminder, to know that you will be warm again. And it's nice. It's nice because this is costing that company money, and they're putting the money where their mouth is and showing, look, we are willing to help. We're paying to make this stuff because we know that having this little token, this little coin in your pocket could make the difference and put you on a positive trajectory. And there's a lot of companies out there that don't give a shit. They say they do, and they put the front on, but they don't. So I'm going to end this video. I'm going to go get outside. I'm going to go to the park with my kids. And let's hope this is a turning point. And let's go from there. I do love you all. I'm hoping I can just make a regular video tomorrow and we can have some fun. If not, I'll be back at some point. Love you all. You will be warm again. Goodbye.